Hey guys, so today is going to be a little small lesson on Latin versus English grammar. We're talking about grammar today, and just kind of like the benefits and the hard parts of each of the languages. So, yeah, let's get right into it. So, one of the first things I wanted to talk about in this video was the benefits and limitations of word order in each of the languages. Because that's not something that we think about a lot as English speakers. You know, you take Spanish, you take German. For the most part, everything's kind of in order. I know in Spanish the not an adjective or switched around, but in pretty much every other language, it does matter what order you put your words in. So here's this example sentence: A poet is in the field. Poeta in agro est. Um, Yeah, so when you translate from Latin to English, any of these Latin translations, um, no matter what word order it's in, do translate to a poet is in the field, which is really nice with Latin because it's kind of, more flexible than a lot of languages. But if you directly translate it from Latin in the literal sense, it doesn't make sense, which kind of sucks because it makes translating a lot harder to figure out, what word goes with which description, basically. It's a lot easier to go from English to Latin, in my opinion. So the next topic I wanted to talk about is nouns. So in English, we have subjects, objects, and indirect objects. So subjects usually come first in a sentence, followed by the objects, which usually come second. And in this example, we'll say that the dog is the subject and the toy is the object. So indirect objects are not the same as objects or direct objects. Indirect objects are affected indirectly by the verb. So this is something like in Latin that we would use as like a giving or telling kind of deal. But with this, we're just not going to use that. So the dog is the subject in the sentence. Plays is the verb. With is a preposition, but we're not going to deal with that right now. And the toy is the object. Declining in English was the one that I had the most trouble with. Just because English doesn't decline very often, but also because I just didn't know that you declined in English. I thought it was strictly a Latin thing. So, what Miss P told me was that even though English doesn't really decline that often, when it does, it's typically pronouns that decline. So, for example, she eats pizza. Basic sentence. She is the subject of the sentence, which is kind of like the nominative case in Latin, because she's the subject. Subject is nominative. Okay. Pizza eats her. Now her has become the object of the sentence because her is getting verbed, which is kind of like the accusative case in Latin. And the pizza is hers is possessive. So this would be like the genitive case in Latin. And what I had to do was relate the Latin cases with the English cases, if you will, to try and help make sense of this. And as you can see in the sentences, none of the pronouns are alike. Maybe it's because I'm an English speaker and not a Latin speaker natively, but I do prefer the English language when it comes to grammar, especially with organization, just because it's a lot less difficult for words to be mixed up in English or something like that. The organization is just A1 on par all the time. Easy to know what goes where, which I like a lot. It's really easy in Latin for word order to get mixed up, and it's difficult to translate from Latin to English because the word order isn't always very clear. Whereas going from English to Latin, it is a lot easier because you know what goes where, what it is, like if it's supposed to be past tense, future tense, present tense. Everything is just organized, and it's just so nice to see it like that. Just very nice, easy to look at, nice language. Alright, so thanks for watching my video, even though I was sick. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, love English, love Latin a lot, and I hope you enjoyed seeing how my brain works. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.